Can I have your attention, please?
Would you let Ken eat first?
Well, Ken's got a long time to sit there and eat his dinner because we got a lot of things on the agenda here.
You just clomped onto that.
They know what he's sitting there.
Alan, is Jeannie here?
Nope. Okay, why don't we call the meeting to order, and we are gonna start with the Pledge of Allegiance. For those of you who are eating, if you can just take a momentary break here. And Ken, actually, you're our guest speaker, so if you'd lead us in the pledge.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Play ball.
Thank you.
Now you have to sing the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah,
Right, that's it, that's it.
But I'd Steve do that.
No, you don't want to hear that.
I don't see Karen Brickner here tonight. We're going to have to send out a search party for her before the next meeting. But anyway, I do want to thank Nancy for doing the minutes again for us last month, and I will read them as well.
Just have somebody accept them, they're wonderful.
Have them accepted? Okay, here are the minutes. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We've got you out of that one.
We've now got the minutes. Okay. And now moving on, we're going to have Barbara Luther do the treasurer's report.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Surprise.
I'm poorly prepared. Alan's been taking care of the money while I've been home recuperating.
Let me see here. I think the and I do want to point out that of that amount, the treasurer's report is accepted.
You don't need to put that last bit.
Oh, and it looks like Nancy is taking minutes here again for me. Thank you again, Nancy. All right, old business. I hope you each have an agenda. We'll quickly run through this so that I know you've all had a long day. Just want to point out a few different events that have taken place in the last month or so. Back on September 17th, there was a Americans for Prosperity. I'm not sure what AFPF is. I think that's
Americans for Prosperity.
Fund. I'm not, okay, that might have been foundation or fund. But at any rate, I was there and Skip was there, and it was really a very good panel with Breitbart and O'Keefe and Friedman, I think.
Todd Freiberg.
Todd Freiberg, thank you. But it was a very, very, very good discussion of what's going on with our political situation right now in the country. The Merrimack County Committee and the Concord City Committee held a salute to Stretch Kennedy, which was very well attended. There were a number of presidential candidates there as well. That was a lot of fun. That was on September 18th. Then the NHGOP held their first annual fundraiser with Governor Bob McDonnell. That was on September 26th, and they had a huge crowd at that. And then shortly after that, the House Republican Victory PAC had their event for the speakers of the House, which was also extremely well attended. And I have to say that was an interesting one, because as different people got up to the podium to talk, there were these innuendos and little barbs here and there, which added to the atmosphere of this event. And for those of you who weren't there, I would strongly suggest that if there's another one next year, you'll definitely want to go to this, because it gives you a little bit of a greater insight into what's really going on behind the scenes, I guess. And I guess maybe Ken and Mary, who are veterans in the House here, may be familiar. They probably had more things that they understood than I did, and a lot of other people there. But it was interesting, and it was very well done. And the last thing that I want to bring up on old business is something that we do need to talk about a little bit more to find out where things stand. the Belknap County Republican Committee Thanksgiving Day, call it a benefit or whatever. Event. Elaine?
Okay. I've been in touch with Patrick's. They're not sure if they're going to do it this year because the last few years they had a very poor turnout. They, basically what they had were, a lot of people that don't eat that kind of food. In other words, they vegetarians and things like that. And it was just very counterproductive. They're still discussing it. I spoke to the manager today, Megan. I've spoken to Alan, and they're up in the air on what to do. So,
Plan B.
Jeannie, Senator Forrester and I had bumped into each other, I don't know, one of those events. And she said if we have any difficulty, maybe we need to leapfrog it forward to Christmas time. And I'm thinking now, as everybody's talking about, oh, it'll be election time, we'll have plenty of people to feed. But I don't know, I'm still waiting to hear from Mr. Beadle about it, so, when I know you know.
Okay, Elaine, hang on to the microphone for a second. Is there any other thought about having it at another place on Thanksgiving Day?
Well, I did speak with the Legion not doing anything, and they're not renting the hall. I don't know why they're not, maybe they're having a private party, they're not telling me. Who knows, the Legion. I don't know if you want to move it maybe out of Laconia into a different area, maybe we have more needy folks other places. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I know certainly in a city area, that's where you'll have more homeless people or people in need.
The Congregational Church.
Well,
Yeah, Hazel Loop.
Yeah. I thought-
Is there a, okay.
There already is one in Laconia that's what I was just asking. I thought there was.
what?
A group in Laconia that doesn't.
It's very well attended.
Yeah,
Well,
That's the Salvation Army one?
No,
No.
it's at the Congregational Church.
thank you.
It's what?
Hazel Duke was the old
They have a
principal.
free one every year.
Yeah,
And where do they hold it?
at the
Congregational
Congregational Church in the
Church.
basement.
Okay.
It's for the whole community, everybody.
And we do one at our community center in Merida.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one thought is to help out with one of those that's already done. I think that's really what you had in mind for.
Right, you give them some
For
financial
Patrick's.
aid and maybe some support of people to help them. I don't know. We had kind of honed in on Patrick's because I knew that they had done it in years gone by.
Yeah.
But they said this was very poorly attended.
Well, because the one at the Congregational Church is always so well attended.
Very well.
And Meredith is. I mean, I don't know what's south of the circle, but I mean, you know better
Well,
than
his
I.
could be location. I mean, you really do need a car to get there.
Yeah,
I mean, I know that the Congregational Church, I think you can walk to. Many
yeah.
people can walk.
Yeah. Well,
So,
so Elaine, that might be something to look into is,
Yeah,
just working with them.
Who would I contact at the Congregational Church?
call the phone book, and whoever's in the phone book.
I can make a contact for you if you want.
Could you do
Talk
that?
with me, Elaine, and yes, I'd be happy to.
Yeah,
And,
you can't reach Hazel Duke anymore.
No.
Well, she may.
She has another condo.
Can you contact Meredith
She
Senior
might be
Center?
right
Pat's
across
Turkey
the street
Farm is
from
the
me.
one that puts it on.
Oh, all righty then. Maybe I'll contact Hot Turkey Farm. That's tomorrow morning's work.
Okay, thanks Elaine.
I wish I had more to report.
Well, that's all right, if you've got some
6 weeks.
some follow-up to do right now. Anyway, that's it for the old business on here. I'm not sure if I missed anything. I don't believe so. But why don't we move on to the new business? Give you a quick update as far as the executive committee meeting, which was held on October the 3rd. That was the first meeting that Wayne McDonald, the new GOP chairman, was able to preside over. And topics of discussion were certainly the presidential primary. There was a lot going on with that. We also had Bill O'Brien spoke at the meeting. I'm sorry?
I didn't say a
Oh,
word.
okay. Bill O'Brien spoke at the meeting, and he talked about two things, and one of them is that the the House Redistricting Committee is
How'd it work?
going to be, public hearing is going to be held this coming Tuesday. So that's next Tuesday, the 18th, 7 p.m. at the Belknap Mill, which is over on Beacon Street. I think everybody around here knows where that is. It's very important that you plan to attend that meeting because this is where we're talking about redistricting. Come on in. We're talking about redistricting. This is your opportunity to voice any questions, any concerns that you might have about what's going on with the different wards here in Laconia, as well as with any of the neighboring towns here in Belknap County, as far as what kind of representation we're going to have. And this is going to be for the next 10 years because we have we've got it's all based on the census, so this is the 2010 census. The other thing is that Bill O'Brien pointed out is that there is a new website called Concord Fact Check, and Concord Fact Check is it's concordfactcheck.com. It's also on Facebook with the same words, Concord Fact Check, as well as on Twitter. For those of you who use Twitter, it's at Concord Facts, and that's basically a site to go to if you have questions, if you've heard rumors or anything like that about what's going on, and you want to try to get it substantiated or denied. The Republican Party will be keeping an eye on that, and any questions that come in, they'll post the questions and the answers. So it's just an effort to increase communication, accurate communication, to the people who are interested in those matters. And let's see here. On the agenda, we've also, I also wanted to point out that even though it wasn't announced at the meeting on October 3rd, an announcement came out earlier this week, or the end of last week actually, that a new executive director for the NHGOP has been hired. His name is Tori Mazzola. He used to be the press secretary for the National Republican Congressional Committee down in Washington, D.C., and he's actually from Fremont, New Hampshire, so he's got New Hampshire background.
It's right next door to Raymond. I knew I would remember.
Thank you, Elaine. Right next door to Raymond. So anyway, that's...
Kingston.
There you go.
Next door to Kingston.
Okay. Thank you, Ken. That's why we have you here. So anyway, I have not met Tori yet. I don't think many people have met him. I'm not sure that he's actually in the office yet. I believe he had to give a couple of weeks' notice to the folks down in Washington, D.C. The other thing is that there is a golf tournament coming up, and I'm going to encourage you to sign up for this golf tournament. It's on October 24th. It's at Wentworth by the Sea, which happens to be Bill Binney's country club. He's making it available for this event as a fundraiser for the NHGOP. So that's out there in Portsmouth. It's a beautiful course, and it's a beautiful view, and it should be a great time. And so we're looking for people to sign up, and sign-ups are still being taken. So let's get out there and swing the golf clubs before we have to put them away for the winter.
Well, you don't.
Some people put them away, some people don't put them away. Okay, next item, another item on here that is not on the agenda is I want to point out that Tom Brown, the chair of the Laconia Republican Committee, has had to resign because he's got a new job. He's actually got a talk show at midnight every night on WEZS 1350 on the dial. It's a conservative radio talk show, and he's looking for people to come on his show as well. So any of you people representing presidential candidates, Josh and Tyler, we can set you up for a midnight talk if you're interested, or your candidate can set you up for a midnight talk with Tom. But anyway, we're looking for a new chair, and it should be somebody from Laconia. And I know that the line will be long for people volunteering for this. So we're gonna have to vet you and make sure we do background investigations to make sure that you're qualified to do this job. So but the early bird gets the worm. So step up as quickly as you can and see me about that. Okay. Next item is the presidential debate at Dartmouth College. Did anybody have a chance to see that yesterday on TV?
Yep.
Okay, and that, of course, is it was not our local major outlet from Manchester that had the event this year. Sorry, guys. But it certainly was an interesting one, and I hope everybody got a little bit more information to help make a decision. And certainly, we had Bill Gardner over at Barnstead Alton last night. We tried to corral him and get him to tell us when he was going to have the primary, and unfortunately, we weren't able to wrangle it out of him. By the way, Adam, I hope that you didn't come here thinking that Bill Gardner was going to be here tonight, because something got snafu'd and posted incorrectly by the NHGOP.
No worries about that. We were just wondering if we might talk to Representative Weiler just about, really briefly, sorry to interrupt everything.
Sorry.
Just about the fact that the primary could end up sometime in December.
Oh,
Or
okay.
anybody else.
Why would he know?
Want to answer that, Ken?
Actually, when
Your
I,
guess is as good as mine.
when I pulled in the parking lot, Bill Gardner was on the phone, on the radio station. And what he was talking about was if Nevada would do there is a law, a statute, and it lists how they're supposed to be. I've got it out in the car, Bill gave it to me this morning. In Nevada, if it would stay at the 17th, then everything will be fine. But if they go to the 14th, then we will. And he's talking about the 6th or the 13th of December.
He's also talking about the 5th of January.
He's talking about a lot of things.
He's talking about a lot of different things,
And he won't know until everybody else goes and plays.
Basically, he's trying to put out a whole lot of different dates so that all of the other states who are in play for this don't have any idea which way he's leaning.
He won't.
So that he'll wait until the very last minute. This is what he said. He's going to wait until the very last minute that he can, when he feels that the other states cannot possibly change their date.
He did say.
And then he will set the date.
He did say that the filing period begins in a couple of weeks, I think.
Yes.
And he said that that he can wait as late as the 26th, which is the last filing day.
Right.
He says then he can wait even longer if he
And
wants
he
to.
has also pointed out that he has never changed the date of the primary after he has set the date of the primary.
Right.
He has never changed it. So that's, I'm sure he wants to be able to continue to say that. So that's why he's waiting until the very, very last moment. Anyway, Adam, and you know, I don't know if you want to steal.
If there's one person who wouldn't mind talking to us just about their opinion on all of this unfolding.
Wait, you don't have one.
We'd love to talk.
Go for it, Elaine.
I don't have any opinion.
We'll nominate you, Elaine, go ahead.
Dennis, as a member of the committee, I implore you.
I can only repeat what you said, what
Well,
Bill said is.
Folks, Adam is here with a cameraman, so this is your opportunity to.
Alan, you happen to be the chair.
All right, Adam,
No,
what?
I'm running the meeting.
You could do this.
We could change that real quick.
Before you set me up for a big fall, what are we doing?
We're just talking about your thoughts as a Republican and a person from New Hampshire about all of this craziness, the possibility of it moving up into December. That's.
I have tons of opinions about it.
Mrs. Haverstein, she's very sweet and loving, kind and soft-spoken.
About whom are you speaking?
Go for it, Judy.
And our candidate's already dropped out.
Thanks for indulging us.
No problem.
Don't leave, come back and visit with us.
Yeah.
I'd love to. We've got to keep running.
Yeah.
If you get stuck, call Elaine.
Thank you very much.
And myself.
Okay. Well, that was a nice comedic break there. Okay, so we've already talked about the presidential debate and the House Redistricting Committee and the Concord fact check. Item letter E, the New Hampshire Federation of Republican Women they're having their annual meeting this Saturday down in Nashua. And that's when they're going to be naming their Woman of the Year. And I guess there are a few different candidates for that, but I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of it if you hadn't heard about it and you're thinking of going. And I'm going to call upon my wife, Jan, to talk about a Vesterroy update.
We don't have,
You don't have anything to update?
no, I don't
You do have a new class that's starting,
Right.
right? It's been announced,
It
the
started, yeah.
the people who have been selected to be in that class have been notified and it has been publicized. Okay, Belknap County Legislative Update. This is where the state representatives and county commissioners, Steve Netto's not here any longer.
Yes, he is.
There he is. Looking right at me, okay. If I could,
You're in that condo.
Yes, I'm in that condo.
there's some inside joke here about a condo. I'll have to talk to you afterwards. Anyway, if you don't mind, if you could give us an update on what's going on with the county county commission, and then I'll also call on the legislators here as well, and we'll get their take on what's going
We'll
on.
let them go first.
Oh, you want them to go first?
He
Okay.
wrote that you were going first.
All right. Who from our legislators would like to go
Oh,
first?
Frank must have a lot to say.
Frank's good.
He was there all day.
There you go, Frank.
For us, Frank.
I guess we were there all day. We did hear 5 of the presidential candidates got 10 minutes apiece, and that was enlightening. And all the Democrats stayed in place for the entire time, thinking we'd do
the veto
override as they left.
I remember them walking out on Gingrich years ago.
They stayed and listened to him this time.
Well, it was the union leader that published something to that effect, that they were wondering if they were going to wait until all the Democrats got up and left.
We could have done that tonight.
So this afternoon, what do we have, about 6 bills with maybe 5 or 6 amendments, and every single one of them, the Democrats are, most of them are housekeeping. And the Democrats argued, they
An hour in
asked for
each
roll
bill.
calls on every single one of them. They tried to table half of them, and none of them were of any import. They're all
Well,
housekeeping. They're housekeeping things that needed to be cleaned up. Overall, we then did address one of the veto overrides. Which was it now?
The sprinklers.
Yeah, the sprinklers. Yes, we overrode the governor on mandating sprinklers, mandating the towns would require sprinklers if they're a certain distance from.
And all the
Fire
builders
fire
and all the
department.
stuff that they, it's
Yeah.
cost them more money, all this other stuff for.
So there are still about, I think there are about 8 vetoes still left that we have not addressed. I suspect we're right now, the Senate has also said they're not meeting again. Now, if I was told, and Ken can confirm it, that at one time when Gene was Speaker, we were able on a first session in January, as long as as long as we didn't adjourn,
Yeah.
we could do that, and I suspect the Senate has that in mind.
I think so.
And then after, that, at some point, if we're gonna handle new business, we adjourn.
Right.
And then the time is up, so.
Well, here we're scheduled for December 23rd. I wonder if that's a Christmas party or a meeting? It depends on when it comes up.
Actually, that's probably veto day because everybody will be going to Florida.
Yeah,
The right people are gone, we'll vote.
There you go.
Well, they made a point to say that that is a deadline to submit reports. It didn't say we would have a session, though that's open.
That report's had to be in November 2nd.
Yeah, November 1st, I
Yeah.
thought, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's what we voted on, those,
to suspend the rules.
yeah, so there are 3 or 4 that were
Like
allowed to go till.
The $35 million bill can come up December 23rd, depending on what happens.
Yeah. Anyway, other than that, several of the committees are still working because they didn't get their job done in the spring like my committee did. So,
I just have my exec left and that's on Thursday next week.
so these were bills, a lot of the bills that this last session, we simply deferred to committee work so that we didn't confuse the budget process as had happened in the previous 2 years. So that's essentially it.
Okay. Thank you, Frank. Does anybody else have anything that they want to add? We've got legislators all around the room here. Okay, thank you, Frank. Steve?
Now I would say I have nothing to offer.
Your timing is superb.
Yes.
And I'll put that in.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear Ken.
There must be something going on, Commissioner, that we should know about.
Yeah.
There gotta be at least one issue. Come on,
Fess up.
something.
Fess up.
I mean, come on, the county's not that bad.
What do you want to know, Dennis?
Whatever you think that we should know right now.
Sanberton's being sent over to Merrimack County.
Yeah, I guess, I don't want to use this.
Okay, that's all right.
I guess I would say we are working with the town of Barnstead. That's still in a
Flux.
little gray area right now. I think the response that we've gotten is that they are in favor of it, but there's
In favor of
9,000
what?
questions of us taking over the police department.
Thank you.
There's 9,000 questions on who keeps what if they dissolve, what do we do, how do we hire them people to be our deputy sheriffs, do we hire our own people? I mean, there's still a bunch of other questions to ask. But it still does sound good, it's feasible. Probably in the savings around 140,000 is what the figure was. But the longer we go, that number's gonna change, so.
And how's our county building doing over there on the renovations?
It's going slow, but it's going. Stop on by anytime, he'll put a hard hat on you, and he'll let you walk in.
And give you a hammer.
Yeah, and give you a hammer. One thing I would like to announce, though, and we have before, our county home, our nursing home, for the first time in years, we got a 100% rating. And that is really something. And that's something that we're trying to continue on. We're getting now into the budget process, so I'm sure the legislators here, they're going to be hearing from us shortly, so. And we are working on the jail, right, Melissa?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everyone's blaming me for the overcrowding. But
I know.
Keep it up.
It's SB 500.
Only the people who learn to be paid.
I do have a question.
Certainly.
Superintendent Ward had been out in Barnstead
Yeah,
about his community,
policing,
no, about his community stuff they do, building furniture and whatever.
yeah.
And I asked him about woodcutters and things like that, and he says there's another guy that handles those kind of people that are on weekend furloughs or are, I don't know what you're talking about, nobody ever called me.
I don't know, but I will find out for you.
Okay. The other thing is, he says he's overcrowded, and he's telling me that SB 500 has a lot to do with that. And I was wondering, yes or no?
I guess it's a matter of interpretation.
Well, are they there because they committed another crime, or are they there because their PPO sent them there for the 7 to 90 days?
Yes.
Okay. I hate that bill.
You know, the thing is, we had budgeted last year for $90 a day, $90 a day, 90 people per day,
Right.
okay? And we're running right now about 116.
Yeah, I know, that's what he was telling me.
We're using the gymnasium, we're using the upstairs. we're
Upstairs is
using-
the women, though.
But we still have to use that space.
Okay.
Normally, that was a classroom, but now we're using it as a dorm.
So the crime rate has gone up? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if
No.
the crime rate's gone up, it's just, we've got more people.
And a lot of that has to do with the SB 500. PPO can choose, that's probation and parole officers. They can choose, if you're not messing up really bad, to give you kind of a little dope slap and send you back to jail for 7 days. Or if you need a big dope slap, they can send you up to 9 months. No, up to 90 days.
90 days.
If they're gonna give you the 9 months, then you gotta go back to the big house. But that's unfair to our local jails. It's very unfair.
Is the state paying for those people?
No.
They're just leaving
County's
it for
out.
the county to pay for, which isn't right.
Melissa, you might want to answer that.
If it's a parole setback for 90 days, that would be to the state prison. And if it's a probation violation, for the most part, what the jail is seeing is And I will accept some responsibility for this. We have somebody who's on probation who commits another crime.
Right?
Now, in my opinion,
They
that
should go
person
back.
is a threat to the community. So pending resolution of their case, I make the argument to the judge, or we reach an agreement with the defense attorney that says, this person was on probation, they're under supervision, and they're still committing crimes. They should not be on the street pre-trial. And that, I mean, that's the position I have to take to
Belong
protect
back
my
in jail.
safety.
Yeah,
That,
pre-trial, the county pays for.
But one of the things
Exactly.
I would like to, and I don't know how, I mean, maybe you can help me with verbiage to write something to fix, once again, SB 500, that would say, they go back and finish their term and then come out in a pre-trial.
in that, we still have the burden to prove that they committed the new crime. And it's not the beyond a reasonable doubt, for the probation violation, we don't have as high of a standard, but they still have a right to a hearing. I still have to bring police officers, I still have to present it to the judge, and the judge has to make that determination. I understand what you're saying with that immediate consequence of, I think it's like 1 to 5 days or 1 to 7 days for probation violations. That is written in there for the
Right.
immediate consequence. But for the most part, we're looking for a bigger penalty than that, and that does kind of stick them into the docket of being pre-trial, and then we're resolving that and sometimes addressing the new crime at the same time. And other times, the new crime is so big, it's got its own full-blown trial too.
All right,
So-
well, thank you, Melissa, thank you
Yeah.
for that, and I'm going to suggest that maybe conversation could take place after the meeting to look into this further, okay? I'm just looking at it from the standpoint that I figure that there are a lot of people who are looking for a place to stay.
Call that the Belknap County Bed and Breakfast.
There you go, there you go. Okay.
Clientele for Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
Maybe that's what we should do, Belknap County Public should feed the prisoners.
Okay, we have two representatives of presidential campaigns. We have Josh Davidson representing the Perry campaign. Did I say Huntsman before? No? Okay. The Perry campaign, and we have Tyler Glick representing the Romney campaign. Josh, since you are here first, I'll let you go first and say a few things.
Sure. My name is Josh Davidson. I'm with the Perry campaign, as Alan said. As we were talking about before, there was a presidential debate last night at Dartmouth College. It was a little interesting, actually. If you get a chance to see the video or get a chance to watch it last night, it was a round table debate, which made the camera angles a little interesting, in my opinion. And it focused mainly on jobs. And the area where Governor Perry was really talking a lot about was energy. Some of the questions were asking how in a divided Congress would you be able to get through some of this jobs legislation for economic reform, and Governor Perry's answer was there are a lot of regulations that the president, through signing a document, can remove a lot of these regulations on offshore drilling and so on. And so that's what he focused a lot of his time on. It's a lead up to a speech. He's unveiling his jobs and energy plan on Friday in Pittsburgh. Then there'll be another one, jobs, and talking about tax reform down the road, and so really trying to address a lot of issues that relate to jobs. So that'll be exciting. Be on the lookout for that. We also have the First Lady of Texas, Anita Perry, is coming in. She will be at the NHFRW brunch on Saturday. So that'll be exciting if any of you get a chance to go. I got a chance to meet her last night. She's really a pretty nice lady and very cool. And she's really the reason that Governor Perry got in the race. I think she was the bird in his ear for a little while. And also just wanted to say we're very excited to have the support of Representative Swinford and Representative Greenmore for the Perry campaign. Very excited to have their support and keep building here in Belknap County. Thank you very much. And if any of you want to talk about Governor Perry or how to get involved in the campaign, I'll be around afterwards. Love to talk to you. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Josh. Tyler?
Well, I'm Tyler Glick with the Romney campaign, and very excited to be here. We've got some excellent support in the room and some other support we'd like to have soon. We've got a lot of momentum our way right now. Had a great day yesterday with the endorsement of Governor Christie, and also another very strong debate performance. Governor Romney continues to show a strong command of economic issues, which I think is on everyone's mind. He has both the private sector experience and the public experience, and we're really encouraged. The governor's made a point to run a very grassroots campaign. We've held 13 town halls around the state, so he's taking the tough questions from voters. We had 2 on Monday with some excellent questions across the gamut of issues, and I encourage you, if you haven't seen him this time or have never seen him, to come out and ask the questions that you care about. He's happy to answer any questions. We are nothing without volunteers as a grassroots campaign, and we'd love to get you involved. If you'd like to help us out, we're going to be, door-to-door phones. We have our first Super Saturday here this Saturday, so we're going to have a big push along with a number of other Saturdays until election, until the primary. But I appreciate you guys having me, and look forward to working with everybody more here in the future.
Great.
Okay.
Crop tape.